taking flights. Life on the edge is the way that yogi life. No fun if I can't do 100 through the light. Probably the only way that I can live and feel alive.
What's up, everyone? How you guys and gals doing? Second half of the show, we got Danny D'Lo in
What up?
We got him here. He is co-hosting the Motorcycle Madhouse morning show. Hopefully, guys and gals are looking forward to that. Man, what's going on there, man?
Sorry, man. I got our live on the computer too, and yeah, I forgot to hit mute.
Look at that. He's already fucking up already.
Already fucking it up. God.
If you guys don't know Danny D'Lo, you can watch him over on YouTube and stuff. I know I got a lot of new people coming in here that ain't even bikers, but you wish you want to be. So you got to tell them a little bit about yourself, man, because you got a lot of you're on the radio as well right now. So a lot of people on the radio, they don't know you.
Man, I'm all over. You can Google me. I'm Danny D'Lo. I have Danny D'Lo Biker TV. I'm also on TikTok, but I'm not really advertising that much. I'm on Instagram as well. I'm just an old school biker trapped in a new school body. Just been doing my thing, been around the club life, been in the club, former one percenter. I try to teach people, whether it be the club life, whether it be what not to do in the club life. And also I try to give people pointers on working on bikes and stuff like that. I kind of bounce around all over the spectrum.
Rock on. Now, since he don't want to advertise his TikTok, let me take you into the world of Danny D'Lo's TikTok. And
there we go.
Before we get into growing up in Chicago and stuff like that. Now, I am kind of weirded out at Danny. You know, he's a ladies man. Let's just put it that way. He's a ladies man. He's one of them suck up type of ladies man. Gives
boy.
Says, honey, here's my balls type of deal. And I got proof right now. Let's take a look at my proof.
Guys, do you really want to know how to turn your woman on? Watch this. Step 1, grab one of these. Step 2, turn the water on. Step 3, wash your fucking dishes. She's tired of doing them by herself.
Now my question is, where's your apron? And two, where the hell is honey? But even worse, when your friends come over, do they ask you to make them a sandwich?
Sometimes, yeah, and I make them a glorious sandwich. I'm sorry. You'll see the women in the group chats that will be like right the fuck on. So yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Gio, what in Ohio did I just watch? Well, I'm over here promoting Danny D'Lo's TikTok, which you got to go over there. I really do love his TikTok stuff. But we got two more that we're just giving you the. Here you are telling on your sister. Does that make you proud telling on your sister like that?
You know what? I've been doing funny spoofs like that because I'm watching these fucking clowns on TikTok, former club members and all this shit that just, it's hilarious. You got one guy leaking out that there's cops in Iron Order MC, and it's like, hey, Mama Luke, we've known this for freaking how long? Like, you're not letting out a big top secret, dude. You know what I mean? And then you got these other guys that are on there talking about their snitches in this club and that club. And so I'm like, you know what? gonna start calling them fact checkers MC and just start messing with them.
And you know what? If you go up to Danny Delo's TikTok, he is the boss, baby. He's got some swag on him, boy.
One of the homies asked me, "Hey, bro, how do cholos walk, eh?" So I said, "Cholos walk like this, 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 this. Cholos walk like this."
So if we ever see Danny Delo coming to him, you're going to be able to recognize him because he can do that cholo walk. You know, I think he'd fit right into anywhere in California. So, you know, man, give me a taco, give me a burrito.
Well, we'll have to ask Mike Ball if I fit in Cali over there.
Mike Ball don't even fit into Cali over there, man. How many guys you see with one leg?
Oh, come on. Don't talk about the one leg, Hollywood. Come on, bro.
That's Peg Leg, man. That's his nickname, Peg Leg.
Oh my God, you're horrible.
He's no Joe Morgan, I can tell you that, man. Joe Morgan, legend over with MA and stuff like that. I don't think that. You know, I do wonder, man. I think he's a little freakish and stuff with the ladies because he says he can get in positions that you and I can't get in. I wonder, man, if he uses stub to his advantage.
You know, I've kind of wondered that too. Like, I mean, on them freaky nights, is he taking a stub and kind of like fisting, only kneeing? Ah.
That's what I'm talking about, kneeing. I bet he can go. See, he's up in LA. That's where all the freaks are. I bet that he can go to the local porn studio and make some money with that thing.
He definitely could.
You think? But I don't know, man. He's got a lot of conservative views and stuff. We were talking about having a side chick yesterday, and he finally came out and admitted he'd like one, but his Mexican wife would kick his ass.
I saw that. He was getting red in the face. He was getting very, very, very triggered. It seemed like
he was, man. It's like a lefty. His inner triggered leftiness came out.
He was getting scared. He's like, "Oh no."
I think Mike, you know what? He has to get the diamond or the hole out of his ass when he is talking, because he's talking like all adult and stuff, and sometimes us people don't want to be adults.
True, very true.
You got to get that stick out of his ass.
Hey, did you see the comment from Steve Easy? He said he didn't know there were essays in Chicago. Are you kidding me? Have you ever been to Chicago?
You haven't been to Chicago, man. If you don't know,
and that's exactly why I do my YouTube channel, because I'm here to represent Chicago, the Midwest. Because when anybody talks about the club life, what's the first thing that always pops up? It's always some West Coast club. And no disrespect to them, but there's more out here than the West Coast or the East Coast. So that's why I'm always promoting Chicago, man, because Chicago's no different than everywhere else.
Man, I'd have to say Chicago is the place to be. You LAs and you New Yorks, you don't know fun until you come to Chicago. You know, we are proud of our criminal history here in Chicago, going back all the way to Al Capone. You go around the world and you say, yeah, I'm from LA. They talk, oh, you're from the city of the transvestites and stuff. But you're from Chicago, they say, yeah, Al Capone, baby. Al Capone. So let's talk growing up in Chicago, man. We're both from Chicago. It's a great place. Not so much anymore. If you want to get shot, you better wear a bulletproof vest down to the south and west sides right now. But let's give an overview because we call them neighborhoods here in Chicago. You were from the Humboldt Park area. I was from Montclair. And there is a big difference, even though Humboldt Park was like 15 minutes away between the neighborhoods. Explain neighborhoods to them.
Man, neighborhoods can change they literally change in one block, man. You got this block, these guys run it, and then you get like 2 blocks over, it's a whole nother neighborhood, a whole nother crew that runs that neighborhood. and it can go from 0 to 100 literally, man. Like you can be on this block at a stoplight and you're like, oh wow, this is a real shithole, and then you get to the next stoplight and it's like you're in a whole nother suburb. It's all nice, and it's crazy on how quick neighborhoods change in Chicago, man.
And that's one of the things we prided ourselves on was the neighborhood, especially when we grew up. It was a different time period where everybody was out on the stoops. And if you don't know what a stoop is, it's porch. Basically, everybody,
Yeah,
the whole neighborhood congregated at was on their porches. You to go up and down the block and see that everybody just sitting there chilling and stuff. And the people were real tight with that neighborhood. And that's why when sometimes people bring up gangs and stuff like that, you know what? I really never looked at them that way. I always looked at it of the caretakers of the neighborhood, because we didn't want cops around.
Yep.
The cops made the situation worse.
Very true.
Especially CPD. Those are some of the most corrupt motherfuckers around.
They sure are. Dude, man, I can't tell you how many times I'd be walking down Armitage Avenue to the little liquor store that was by my house. And I'd be walking there like, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking to go grab a pack of squares or, maybe something to drink, bag of chips, whatever. Walking down the street, and next thing I know, I'm locked up for 3 days for just walking down the street. You know what I mean? Like getting hooked and booked for a mob action, or now next thing I know, I'm in a lineup, and dude, dirty ass cops, man.
Mob action was the fun one. That's all they used to use to get your ass and sling you in, was the mob action.
Oh, dude, I got so many mob actions on my coat, man. It's ridiculous, man. Oh my God, dude. Like, especially, a lot of people, Gio will probably know what I'm talking about, but in Chicago, back in like early 90s, I want to say, we kind of formed a coalition of gangs, kind of, and Mayor Daley, along with all the city aldermen, we all sat down, like the guys who ran different neighborhoods with different crews. Everybody sat down and decided, okay, here are the sweep days. Remember the sweep days, guys, that are old school Chicago? Sweep days were Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if you got caught, if you were a known gang member and you were walking down the street on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, it didn't matter if you were by yourself or with a couple of homies or just walking down the street with your mama. They would pull over, throw you ass in the paddy wagon. Yes, I said paddy wagon. And you'd get locked up for mob action just like that. Like those were the days you just couldn't be out in the neighborhood. But then the other days you were allowed to sell do what you got to do.
Well,
it was like an understanding, because all the neighborhoods and the aldermans were complaining. Everybody's complaining to the aldermans. All the gangs are taking over, blah blah blah. So it was kind of like a solution to, we know we're not going to beat the gangs, we're not going to get rid of the gangs, so let's figure out a solution. So that was basically the agreement.
Well, JB, I got to disagree. Chicago, he says Chicago is the leftovers of West and East Coast.
You're smoking crack, stupid.
But I have to say, the West Coast was a bunch of our bitches, because everything west of the Mississippi River was controlled by the Chicago outfit, and the East Coast outfit, they're too stupid. That's why Chicago ran them into the ground, because they're too busy fighting each other all the time. But Chicago has a different breed of person. Let me tell you that. Leftovers from the West.
I want to know where JB is from, because you tried to delete that comment, but I saw it. Sorry. It said, oh, there it is. It popped back up. What city says alderman? What city are you from that don't have aldermen?
Right.
What the hell? These guys kill me with their comments sometimes.
Like I said, man, Chicago, we have our corruption. After that thing with Trump, I was like, yeah, they pulled the Chicago rope-a-dope on his ass, man. That's Chicago. Uh, but besides the neighborhoods being so secure, and if you were from the neighborhood, it was secure for you.
Mhm.
Now, you know, north side was different than south and west side. I can have to say, west side and south side, they have no loyalty within them neighborhoods. That's why they killing each other all the time. But what do you think that makes everywhere else but the what do you think makes the south and west side different?
You know what? Honestly, there ain't no difference, man. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. You'll ask a guy that's originally from the south side, and he'll tell you, oh, man, y'all were crazy on the west side, bro. We were scared to go to the west side. And then you'll ask one of us from the west side, nah, man, them dudes are crazy on the south side, man. We don't go to the south side. And honestly, it was basically the same shit, man. There was no difference. It's just we were so scared to leave our own hood that that's just what we said, I think, you know. I really don't think there's much of a difference.
But a difference in how the neighborhood takes care of itself. Tight knit
It
is where I'm.
is. It is. I mean, you know, I don't know about how it is nowadays. I'd say it's kind of still the same in a way, but it's definitely gotten way different. But that's the society that we have today. But back in the day, I mean, it was all about protecting our neighborhood, protecting our people. Like I remember, you know, when I was calling it in the hood a little bit, um, dude, you know, we would send the shorties to go clean up some of the elderly's people's yards and you know go cut their grass. If somebody got caught, you know, doing some graffiti in the neighborhood, we'd make them go and repaint the whole garage, the whole house, the windows, everything. Like, I
Mm,
mean, we took care of our own, man. You know, and it didn't matter. You know, one of the best things growing up in Chicago to me is you didn't see race, you didn't see color. We were just all people in the hood, man. You know,
right.
and that was the beautiful part about it, and that follows you through life to where you don't get on that racist bullshit. You know what I mean? Like you can't. You grew up with everybody, man. Everybody is or was your friends, family. You know, it's all integrated. So yeah, we took care of our neighborhoods, man. That's what it was about. You know, if you got caught walking through our neighborhood and you were trying to do some graffiti or you trying to steal some hubcaps back in the day or something, bro, we're gonna beat you down, man. You know, like you in the wrong hood, dude. Take that shit to your hood.
Hubcaps, that's something I haven't heard for a long time. But I would, a lot of people would get confused. A lot of kids in Chicago are part of gangs. That was a way of the neighborhood, uh, is getting involved in gangs at a young age. And people don't understand why that happened.
Right. Well, you know, you grow up in it. You know, it's kind of one of them things you don't give any thought to it. You know, you're just there. You know,
Mm.
I remember sitting on a stoop and we're smoking a blunt and it was like a Sunday morning, Saturday morning or something. It was kind of early in the morning, I remember, and I was just a kid, man. And you know, I'm looking around the neighborhood and you know, you see the neighborhood cluckers, which are crackheads. They on the corner, they're all picking through the grass looking for a rock that they think they lost, but really they just smoked it. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at them guys and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be like them. You know, then I looked over on the corner and a couple of the shorties are kicking it on the corner and they're all gang banging and shit. And I'm like, oh man, those dudes ain't gonna amount to shit or even last that long either. You know, then I saw one of the other neighborhood, you know, dope fiends come through. His name was Junior. He used to cut our hair. And he was a great hairstylist, man. He would like do all the art and stuff, like carve the art in your head and stuff like that, and give you a nice fade and shit. But Junior comes walking up the block, and you could literally smell shit. He'd shit himself because he was a dope fiend. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be like Junior, you know. But then one of
Mm.
the homies come pulling up the block in a brand new Caprice, you know, sitting on some 30s and Vogues, you know, banging some crazy music, you know, out of a crazy ass sound system, 412s in the trunk, got a couple of girls with him, got jewelry on, brand new clothes. He's doing it. He's giving everybody $100 bill because he runs the hood. And it's like, I want to be that guy. You know, that was how it was in the hood, man. You didn't want to be a cop. You know what I'm saying?
No,
You
nobody
know, I
wants.
mean, some people might have wanted to be a fireman, but it wasn't nobody in the hood like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a cop. We all beat them up.
He's not lying. He's not lying. Firemen
And we
were cool.
never liked that guy ever again. Like, even if he grew up to be one of the guys in the hood and didn't become a cop, he was a snitch for the rest of his life. We didn't like him. We didn't mess with him.
Oh man, how old were you when you first got into something?
I was between 10 and 11 years old. I was already, hanging out with what I call my big brothers, the OGs. I would hang out with them in the neighborhood after school and stuff, and they would kind of teach me the ropes, but they'd also be like, man, take your little ass home, man. It's late, They looked after me, believe it or not, man. It wasn't all about trying to get you to join the gang. Honestly, they all tried to get me to not join the gang,
Right.
And, it was between 10 and 11. That's when I started, walking the streets, hanging out, gang banging, start selling a little bit of weed. And it just, unfortunately, it just progressed from there until, we started hitting the big time.
Right. And there is the minors and there's the pros, man. Yeah, it was about 10 or 11 with me. Started hanging around Albany in school and stuff. And if you know Chicago back in the 80s and stuff, Albany schools was royal blue, man, until the migration happened.
Yeah.
So it was just a different feeling, and you were real close with the people. And yes, we have some attitudes from Chicago. You New Yorkers think you have attitudes. You got shit on Chicago when it comes to attitudes. I think we're more real.
I think we all think we're more real. That's what I think. You talk to a guy in New York and he's going to say they're more real there. You talk to somebody in Chicago, we're going to say we're more real. I think that growing up in the ghettos in the hood, we're all real. It doesn't matter where we grew up. We grew up hard. We grew up surviving. It's just part of it. I think everybody thinks they real, but when shit goes down, that's when you really see who's real or not.
Right. Well, I'm talking about attitude wise, not even taking care of business. I think we got this attitude towards people that are from the outside that a lot can't understand.
Honestly, what I've always seen, and I mean, this is pretty much how I am, like, being from Chicago, man, we don't really get too much attitude. We're kind of quiet because we're always observing you and checking you out and feeling you out and trying to figure out, is this dude real or he just a punk? Is he some wannabe? Is he a cop? You know what I mean? Like, we're always alert, man. In Chicago, you got to be alert. And I think that's any inner city. You got to be highly alert, always watchful for your surroundings, and, always paying attention to who's full of it and who's real, So I don't know.
Well, you know what? If you do come to Chicago, I'm going to recommend Wrigley Field, and I'm going to recommend that you walk down Clark Street. Especially if you're into all that LGBTQ, you'll see some weird shit out there, man.
Yeah, there's some cool bars over there.
Doesn't it surprise me that you actually went down Clark Street? Well, you are washing dishes and stuff. So.
Oh wow. Actually, so I had a friend of mine who bought a bar in Boys Town, and he calls me up and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "I need you to run security at my bar." And I'm like, all right, and I did a lot of that. I worked all the nightclub scene in Chicago at the time. And I said, yeah, all right, cool, man. So he gives me the address, and this is before the GPS on the phones and all that. So I pull up and I'm like, man, we right in the heart of Boys Town, man. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? And he's like, it's not going to be a gay bar. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be a gay bar. You ain't got a choice in that, bro.
Anything
Yeah, like you can call it whatever you want. You can call it the anti-gay bar. Guess what? You're gonna have a gay bar. So I worked there for probably about a month, and I'm gonna be straight up with you, man. I had a blast working there. They were fun. There was never no drama.
Are
Like
you in,
they would.
are you are you in the closet, dude?
No, not at all, man. I'm just a competent man that ain't scared of gay people because I know I'm not gay. See, the only people that are scared of gay people are ones that are scared they might like you.
Oh, ouch.
That's right. That's right. Welcome to the morning show, motherfuckers.
so so
So,
re- so really here, the is that you get your feminine side from Clark Street? I'm starting to see your origins here about washing.
oh, you wash a couple of dishes, now you're labeled for life? Really, Hollywood? You never washed your woman's dishes for her?
No, actually not.
Well, see, that's why you don't get laid all the time. That's your fault.
Amish real hoods make you tougher than others. Respect to all those cities like Chicago. Amish, have you ever even been in a hood? I gotta ask, man. You got me weird up here. But go ahead, man. I
But
I do I do want to know. You know what? You keep it 100. You do show your feminine side a lot.
you know what? I'm just myself, man. I really give zero fucks what people think of me, man. I really don't. You know, like is it so horrible that a man wants to wash some dishes to make his woman smile? Then call me a horrible person. I'm good with it. But if my lady's sitting here smiling, looking fine, doing whatever I want her to do, I ain't tripping. I don't care what any guy thinks, man. I don't. I'm
Well,
not trying to fuck you tonight.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. You showing that feminine side of Danny D'Lo, man.
I don't know how washing dishes is feminine. I mean, come on, man. If you were living by yourself, you're not gonna wash. Oh, that's gay. I'm not gonna wash dishes. So you're just gonna have dishes piling up in your sink.
No, I'm gonna hire an illegal immigrant and pay him $1 an hour. I'm the
Hey,
smart.
man. What's that?
Oh, China Doll just walked in, give me cigarettes because I was giving her freaking hell. You left me with no damn cigarettes. Danny's over here fucking smoking and making like that. But what do you think makes a good relationship, Danny? I got to dig into your brain here.
What makes a good relationship? Finding somebody who's like-minded. I've been in many relationships in my life. Not proud of them, but I have. And every one of them, I was with some chick that grew up in the burbs, grew up in Farmville, and they didn't understand my mentality. Only somebody from Chicago or that grew up in some type of a hood environment can understand my mentality and the way I react to things. Most people, if somebody cuts you off, you blow your horn, you flip up a middle finger, and that's it. Guys like me, I go around you, I stop the whole fucking highway, I jump out, and I have a word with you. You know, it's it's that mentality that just that gangster mentality, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Did I
And not
get that?
many women can understand shit like that, except for women that are from the hood.
Why did I just get a disturbing image in my head while you were describing that of jumping out of the car, you all freaking naked and stuff like that, pointing your finger and posing? It must have been that TikTok, but go ahead.
All naked. Wow, man. I don't know where you're going with that, but thanks. I appreciate the vote of confidence there.
I,
Um,
I think that's something you would do. I think you're.
no, that's absolutely nothing even close to what I would do. But yeah, as far as relationship shit,
Now he's thinking about it.
finding somebody who is like-minded that you communicate well with, and obviously you got to vibe with them. You know, that's a big key.
And you got to show. I can't get that out of my head.
What?
You got to show your feminine side.
Oh, jeez. You just got to show your woman that you're proud of her, and you don't care what anybody thinks, man.
Well, this is true, and I think that's good advice right there. Not caring what anybody else's think. What is the usual day of Danny D'Lo and his girlfriend?
You know what, man? People think I live this crazy life, and I don't, dude. I am so chill. You know,
Hi,
I
I
have
get
my
you.
morning coffees. What's that?
No, this is Danny D'Lo's morning routine. Hi, honey. Can you give me my apron? It's over there. I want to go wash some dishes. I'll go make you some breakfast. Bring it into the bed.
Yeah,
It's not.
okay, okay. You know what? I might do that. And that's because my woman fine as hell and I have no problem doing it. But my
Hey,
daily routine,
I want to know if you're truthful here. Now,
what?
I know Mike Pegleg Ball lied his ass yesterday. Where he said if his old lady brought home a fine friend that she wanted to do and wanted you to do, and he said no, would you?
My woman would never do that because she's got respect like that. But for the audience purposes, if my woman brought a woman home and said do her, of course I'm gonna do her. Why wouldn't I? My woman just brought her home. It's all good.
At least we got somebody who's honest.
I
At least we got somebody honest.
mean, at
Mike,
that point, you're not cheating on your lady. You're not doing anything wrong. She brought her home, so why wouldn't you?
but see Mike over there, like, he got to get that stick out of his ass, man. If your lady brings her home, do her. That's what I'm saying. It's a
See, you
gift.
know what? I've been in a relationship where we did threesomes, foursomes. I think we even did a fivesome once. And let me tell you, I learned real quick that it's not what everybody thinks it is. For one,
No, it's
and for two, it does mess with the trust big time because I noticed that right away. But
you know.
I also didn't know the rules. There's rules to that, and I didn't know that.
Oh
We
yeah.
had this girl from Austria, and she was staying with us from for like a foreign exchange thing for the summer or whatever. And she was hot, dude. She was super hot, super duper hot Austrian chick, and we ended up messing with her one night. We had a threesome or whatever. We had a good time. Well, the next morning, my lady goes to work, and this girl's in the kitchen in some panties, and that's it, looking fine as hell, cooking breakfast. First of all, I'm hungry. So of course I'm eating breakfast. Well, then I ate dessert, and some things happened that morning, right? Dude, I got
Oh,
in all kinds of trouble for that, and I'm like, what the hell? We were just with her last night. What's the big deal? I
you
wasn't there.
you can't.
Oh, okay. So now there's rules.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. And for those that, because Mike says it's a trap and stuff. No, man, you just can't show your girl you're having more fun with the other one. You got to have some acting going on, man.
Yep.
You have to pay a
Yep.
lot of attention to her, and the other one is just there.
Yep.
That's And you know what, guys? I know a lot of you guys want, two women at the same time. That's just two more bitches you got to deal with. Seriously.
Spoken from a man that's been there. Yes, sir.
Oh my God, do they give you headaches and stuff? I remember when I had a live-in girlfriend and shit like that. And if you would ever do what Danny said, China Doll would kick your fucking ass if you were doing
Mhm.
without
So
her.
so
And
let's ask Hollywood a question.
let's ask Hollywood.
What would you do if China Doll brought a man home from the bar one night and said, "Let's mess around"?
I kick her ass because it's not right. That
I've
shit
never
ain't
understood why is it always the chick is bringing a woman home? It's never bringing a man home.
because a man is the king. He's the one that's supposed to have the harem. Did you ever see a Muslim king or any kind of kings have a bunch of dudes as their harem? No, it was all women.
No, no, never have.
Men are men. They are the king of their castle.
Right.
That's what I'm always saying. And a lot of men nowadays, they don't understand that. Like Peg Leg, he gave the keys to his ball sack over to his old lady.
Well, he's a
And
younger cat, man.
I guess, I guess that's what people from LA do, man. These West Coasters, they just give their keys to the balls away.
Well, it's LA, bro. I mean, it's right next door to Hollywood.
Not
Oh
this,
God, poor Mikey.
not this Hollywood, by the way. Got me fucked up, man. They all, they all weirdos and stuff like that. That's just like China. I was telling everybody the other day. We were walking through Walmart, and I seen a dude with blue hair. I can't shut up with that.
No, me neither.
How do you blame me for saying something, man? He looks like a Tinkerbell.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And that's
And some of
just,
these new hairstyles where they got the hair all in their face and they're flipping it up like a female. It's like, dude, what are you doing right now? Stop it! Like I'm gonna cut your hair myself.
now, what if your old lady made you a deal? She would bring you home the biggest bombshell of a broad. If she can bring home a gay guy.
Fucking never. Ain't happening. First of all, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this may be because I'm in they call it the honeymoon part of my relationship. But I can honestly say there's not another woman in this world that I'm attracted to, and I mean it. Like I don't even look at them. Do I acknowledge another pretty woman? Of course I do. I'm a man. But do I go through the thoughts of, damn, I wouldn't mind hitting that? No, I would never. I don't feel that way. I don't think that way.
You already
But yeah,
cut your
that's not happening.
you already,
That's
you
definitely not
already
happening.
cut your own nut sack off. What the fuck, Danny? You cut it off.
You know what? I'm okay with it, man. I am dude. When you're happy with somebody the way I am, I don't need anybody else. I'm good, man.
So,
I'm at that age too where it's like, it's not all about sex anymore.
man,
So
at our age, that we have, that's work to me now. Sex, it just
you
takes.
ain't lying. Sometimes it is, man. Well, me and a mutual brother of ours were literally just talking about that. It's like you're laying in bed, and she's giving you the moves, right? And you're just like, oh fuck, again. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Now, is
Like
this not
I just
true?
want to go to sleep.
I'm going to be turning the big 50. Okay,
Okay.
and it is work.
Mhm.
Why when they're younger that they never want to have sex, but when they get older, it's like you can't keep them off of you. They're like little leeches.
Oh, it's God's cruel joke to men and women. It really is, man. That's why so many women end up cheating on their men after a while because I mean, think about it. A woman's time when they really get in their peak time is right around the time that we're just about getting done, you know? And then we have like 10 years to give them a good heave ho. After that, most people, now it's not working like it used to anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's a
well,
cruel joke.
it's not working. Or guys are sitting there afraid that they're going to have a heart attack and stuff because you women get stupid. You do. As you get older, you get stupid. No wonder everybody wants to do a MILF or a freaking cougar, man.
uh,
But it's
yep,
funny. You bring up our mutual friend. I got to get him on here one day. I think we'd have a ball, all of us. And
right.
I do believe that would be something that comes out of his mouth.
Yep. It's weird, man. We're talking. We're like, man. We're doing real biker shit. We're sitting on my bike, going over my cams, and he was actually showing me how to line everything up, making sure that I did everything right. Always teaching me as usual. And we just started talking about our relationships and life. And it's like, man, you get older, and the things that used to mean something to you don't mean a damn thing to you anymore. And then we got onto the sex topic, with women, and it's like, back in the day, man, I was ready to go 24/7. Now it's like, man, I don't know if I want to tonight. I kind of just want to cuddle and go to sleep, dude. I hate to sound lame, but
You want
you
to?
it's like I just want to cuddle and go to sleep, dude. I really don't want to do anything. It's work now, man.
You want to cuddle.
Hey, I love my cuddles, man. You can talk all the shit you want, but I love that stuff.
Danny Cuddle D-Lo.
Oh yeah. Hey, like my famous D-Lo shirt says, all right, gangster as fuck, but still need cuddles.
You know what worries me though is you and our boy were sitting there talking about your sex lives. Usually,
Hey,
guys there and say, "Hey, I want to bang this blonde," and you guys were sitting here saying it was too much work.
no. See, there's a difference between men talking and just fucking guys that just talk a bunch of shit.
Let's
All
see
right,
if he
there's a big difference.
can get this one. We'll see if he can get himself out of this one. But go ahead.
I already did. Dude, I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck what anybody in that chat room thinks. I don't give a fucking fuck.
Well, you are kind of looking like a teddy bear right now. Maybe we should give him
That's all
10.
right.
You should
Come,
upload
come fucking poke the bear then.
road
I,
rage. Let's go into some of these right here. Been married, and I think Danny Delos, his old lady's sitting right behind that camera. That's why he's saying these things. Because
no, she's at home.
oh,
She'll watch the show when I get over there to have coffee in about an hour.
been married for 20 years. I don't even want to cuddle. Go sleep on the couch so I can get some peace and quiet and a good night. That's what I do. That's what I do, man. I have my own room. Screw
So
that shit.
I got an answer for that, and it's a two-part answer. Either one, road rage, you've just been married so long, you guys, either of you give a shit. You know you love each other, and that's it. And then there's the other part of it that some guys that do that shit, you're just with the wrong broad.
Oh, so you think they're with the wrong broad?
It's a possibility. I'm not saying road rage in particular, but I'm just saying there's people that are like that they're not happy in their marriage anymore and they sleep in separate rooms. And I ain't never sleeping in a separate room from my old lady, dude. Are you kidding me? I love her little booty pressed up against my back or my
Well,
ass or
you're in the honeymoon period now. Be with her about 30 years. You'll be checking yourself on that one.
I was in a relationship for 8 miserable fucking years. So I can speak from both parts. I definitely can. And you know what? Even in a miserable relationship, I still didn't believe that.
Still, so you're a good old Catholic boy.
No, I definitely ain't Catholic.
But you're more
You know what? I'm seriously, I am just a different type of dude. I've realized this throughout life. Like, there's things that most men do that I find fucking appalling. There's things, women too, of course.
like
There's
what
things that
men do that are appalling. We're seeing Danny's manly side,
I
and
don't, I don't
is
know offhand. I mean, like sitting around talking about banging women. I find it appalling. I ain't got time for that. Why do I want to talk about women banging women with a guy? I mean, what's next? Are we leading up to a gay porn here? What's the point of that? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather talk about life, what I'm experiencing right now. Whether it be in my relationship. I don't talk my sex life and I really don't talk my relationship life much. Um,
well,
privately like
you
that,
did
but
with our good friend.
well, yeah, me and him talk about a lot of things that I don't talk about with most people, but you got to remember, me and him go back 20 something years now,
Right.
and we're triple T's. We've been twice tried and true. So we've gone through life together as brothers. So of course I'm comfortable to talk to him about certain things I normally wouldn't talk to with others.
Hmm. Well, I'm glad that you're spilling your guts right here on the Madhouse. That's
Dude, I
awesome.
don't care. I don't care. I really don't.
Now,
I'm saying things that most men want to say, but they think it's lame to say it, so they don't.
or do you just think
Think
you're,
about that.
they just think
Uh,
you're a wacko?
there's some guys that are just full of testosterone and really think that they're badasses and they can't talk like a real man. But a real man don't give a fuck what anybody thinks.
Well,
They
this
say
is
what
true.
they feel.
This is
You know.
to be true. This is
Yeah,
true, man.
you want to talk about real men, you want to talk about a real one percenter, you want to talk about a real whatever, a real gangster, you're going to say whatever the hell you want to say, and you don't give a fuck what anybody has to say about it.
Ouch! You know what? You've been asking me about a second channel that would be good for you, and Road Rage came up with one. Exploring your emotions with Danny.
Hey, you know what? If I get 30 people in the chat room right now to say, do the channel, I'll do it.
30 people. You
And I'll
know
teach
this.
you guys how to have a happy relationship instead of that bullshit y'all got now.
Exploring your emotions with Danny. This is a perfect one. You'll get a lot of mainstream.
I like that, Road Rage. I like that.
That was a good one. I have to admit.
We're gonna have tech talk with Danny D'Lo. We're gonna have exploring relationships with Danny D'Lo. We're gonna have all kinds of crap going on.
I'm telling you, man. And I really think you should do Tech Talk with Danny D'Lo, man, because I love that video, dude. I learned something that I didn't know. And that's one good thing about YouTube is you learn stuff that you don't know.
Well, I
Oh, man.
couldn't help myself by doing it. You know, I started watching some videos because anytime I'm doing something on my bike, I'll look on YouTube and see if there's a video on how to do it. And if there's not a video, I'll do one. If there's shitty videos, I'll do one. And that's what happened in this case. I looked up videos on how to remove your inner cam's cam bearing out of a twin cam. And so many people, I mean, there's 15 minutes freaking videos and 30-minute videos. And I'm like, dude, in 30 minutes, I could have torn my whole motor down, bro. Like, what the fuck? You know? And then I come across this video. I could not help myself doing a video and shitting on the guy where he put a hose clamp on the end of the cam puller or cam bearing puller. And I'm like, first of all, how do you get in there to take the hose clamp? I'm like, you're a freaking moron. I'm like, you don't even know how to use the tool, but you're doing a how-to video? Like, take it down. You're stupid. You know?
How do you deal with your haters, man? Because you got a lot of them. They like freaking claw at you.
You know what? There's two different ways I deal with them. Number one, I'll call them out. You know, the ones that come on here and especially on YouTube, man, I'll get these guys, you ain't shit. You ain't. All right, well, come fucking prove it, man. I'm in Lake County all the time. I'm in Wisconsin. I'm right here in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Come fucking find me and prove that you're the baddest motherfucker on the campus. If you're not, then shut up. You're just a keyboard punk, you know?
Right.
And then the other ones, like on TikTok, what I like to do, I thoroughly enjoy doing, is mocking them and making them look dumb. Like the guy that said, "Oh, you're a poser." Okay, so I'll do some fucking funny, hilarious poses around a sunflower and just make you this shit all over you, and you don't even know it. You know what I'm saying?
Danny got a donation from JB. Danny, you are speaking facts. I respect you, man. I did not feel that way at first, but respect is respect.
Right on, JB. Thank you. I appreciate the donation, sir.
There you go, man. Look at that, man. Danny D'Lo in the house today. Haters make you famous. Damn, do they make us famous big time.
Big time, sunshine.
I
You have
think
no idea. My TikTok, my first, second, and third TikTok channel, I built it in very short time to 40, 50. My first account was like 60 something, almost 70,000 subscribers. And then my second one got around 50 or 60 and they took it. And then my third one, it took forever to grow it, but I finally I was approaching 40,000. I was like 37, 38,000 followers. And it was all by haters talking shit and me just going back at them with it, doing funny videos, eye roll videos, just clowning them. So yeah, haters really do make you famous.
no, they do. They do. You're about catching up to me, man, with the haters.
I'm getting there. I don't get as many emails as you do, though, thankfully. Thankfully.
I think it's just something with Chicago that they don't like us.
I don't know what it is, man. It might be Chicago. We have that attitude that we just don't care. And we're from the show me city, and the city, you were not allowed to lie. You weren't allowed to be fake because we smelled that bullshit a mile away. you know, and it, you know, I, I remember one story, man. This kid came to the neighborhood and he was talking shit about one of the other homies in the hood. And he's like, "Oh man, you know, so and so, man, you know, screw him," you know, talking all this shit, right? Talking all jazzy out the side of his face. And within seconds, literally seconds, one of the homies called that homie and was like, "Yo, man, hey man, dude down here talking shit about you. You want to fight?" Dude showed up and they fought. Dude got his ass whooped. We never saw him around again. Like that's how we treated fake people. We would whoop your ass. We would call
Right.
you out on your bullshit and we'd beat the shit out of you. Like there was no room for error growing up in the city, man. So it goes with us through life. We don't let people bullshit. You
You
know, there
got
was
that.
somebody on TikTok that said, one of my TikTok videos, he said, considering considering the location I'm at, I'm in the Wisconsin and Illinois area. Considering the heavily populated area that I'm in of a certain club, I would think that if D'Lo was full of shit or if he was a poser, he'd have been checked by now. And he was absolutely right. And that's what people don't understand on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, your mother's ass. They don't understand that. I mean, case in point, man, you'll see a guy come on a different channel, right? And he'll start talking trash about this guy, that club, those guys, those clubs. And the next thing you know, they just disappear. Why do you think that happens? Because they got checked. You know what I mean? And it's like, so you could sit here and talk all this tough crap on the keyboard. Oh, he's a poser, he's a wannabe. He was only in his club for a short time. He was never nothing. You know, like that little bitch kid 1%er likes to talk all the time on TikTok. You could talk all that shit, but prove it. You have to prove it. If you're gonna talk shit, prove it. You know?
Well, the way we were used to, but now all of a sudden everything's so different because there's the two worlds, the real world and the virtual world, as I call it now.
Yeah.
It is kind of fucking sad, though, if you ask me.
It
That
really
people,
is, man.
you know, the ones that I hate worse the most is they pretend to be your friends and then something stupid happens and they go, you know, because they be talking shit about the other people that you didn't like and all of a sudden they're friends with them. Those are
Yeah.
some fake ass people right
Yeah,
there.
and I don't play that shit, man. You know, with me, if you're a friend of my enemy, you're my new enemy.
You're damn right. Well, that's
You know?
that's at least the way we thought it was.
Yeah, it's just this is the way I am, and you know, I gotta say, man, you know, back to the original topic, growing up in Chicago. I gotta say, growing up in Chicago, it made me tough. It made me able to survive anything. It made me be able to adapt to my environment. Um, there's so many great things that come out of growing up in an inner city in a bad neighborhood that I've always said, if you got kids, you should raise your kids in a bad neighborhood for at least the first 10 years of their life because they're
Mm.
going to take out of that things that normal people don't get. You don't get book smart on the street. Street
No.
smart, street smarts will outlast book smarts every day of the week. You
Mm.
know, I've had people, you know, I'll be working somewhere, right? And I'll be like, yo, I need to take next weekend off because I'm taking my lady, you know, out of town. We're going on the bike. And I've had bosses go, oh, no, you can't take the weekend off. Hey, listen, motherfucker, I wasn't asking you. I'm telling you I'm taking next weekend off. You can
Mm.
fire me. I don't give a shit. You know, like people live in that fear of, you know, oh, I don't want to get fired. Fucking fire me because my mouthpiece, I'll go get another job tomorrow. I'll go
Right.
hustle legally or illegally. I can hustle and make my ends meet. I am never worried. And that's
Mm.
what comes from living in the hood, growing up in Chicago, you know? And there's so many, you know, people don't understand, man. Like if you sold drugs for so long, which I did, um, you take from that where you can run any business. You can just adapt your business to what you used to do on the street. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? And it'll prosper. You know, there's just so much stuff, the life lessons that you'll learn on the street that people just you can't make it up and people can't teach it to you. You have to go through it and learn it.
We're not going to have a members only today. We're going to keep running long on this one so everybody can learn more about Danny. So members only will be back tomorrow, but we're going to keep on going with this one. That's one thing that I have to say about Chicago is it taught us how to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because I can never work for somebody else. I had
No.
trouble all my life working for somebody else because I always had to hustle my way through.
Yeah.
I'd rather be broke and my own boss than to be rich and work for somebody else.
Amen. Amen. I used to
And
always chalk that up to, the fact that I've been in prison and, my felonies and the type of felonies I've got. I always thought that's what kept me from having jobs, but honestly, that did keep me from getting jobs. But when I would get a job, that Chicago attitude is what kept me from keeping it, because I'm not gonna take your shit. You're not gonna talk down to me. I mean, how many bosses have you heard? They talk down to their employees. Bro, you ain't
mm,
talking down to me. You might talk up to me, but you ain't gonna talk down to me. I promise you that. You know what I
mm,
mean? And it just that's why you're right. Most people that grew up in the hood that was really about that life, we're all entrepreneurs and own our own businesses, because we cannot just we can't stand the fact of making somebody else rich, for one, you
yeah,
know, and working for some two-bit fucking punk that couldn't handle one day on the street. No, I can't. you know.
and that's one thing that, my kids are always laughing at me stuff when they see my transcripts and stuff from high school and how many days I really wasn't there. My senior year, I was there maybe 60 days out of the whole freaking year. And because at that point I was more into Melrose Park and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
I got to hang around with my great uncle and his crew and stuff. I remember working Coco's, and the boys would come in. They taught me how to numbers and all that shit,
Right.
and I learned more from them than I would ever from a teacher
Yep.
as far as
Yep.
skill. And I think that really set me up for where I'm at today is the street contacts and learning how the street was, how to not take bullshit from people and how to smell bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. People laugh at me that are close to me, that they trip out sometimes. I've had a couple of bros go, dude, I don't get you, man. We know where you from. We know that you're this type of person, but you can put me in a room with billionaires and I'll have something in common with them, and I can sit there and converse with them in an educational way.
Mhm.
But then you put me in a room full of hoodlums, and now I'm just pretty much being myself, right? You can put me in a room full of lawyers and I can talk with them. I can adapt to any environment I'm put in,
Mm.
because that's how Chicago was, man. When I
Right.
was selling drugs, man. One day, I'd be in the hood making deliveries. The next day, I'm downtown. I'm in
Mhm.
Mayor Daley's office. I'm in some lawyer's office. I'm at some you know certain quote unquote high rise, you know, sitting there with judges, politicians. You know what I'm saying? You have to
Well,
learn to adapt to
that's
your environment.
I got to learn was one of my actual first jobs was Emo and Maroney's supermarket on Manheim and Fullerton,
Okay.
hooked up guys and stuff like that.
Right.
And they really taught you what the loyalty part was because behind the scenes, what they were doing. But as a kid, you got to sit there and soak that shit up. And you really do got to wear two faces. It's just now, I can get hooked up and shit like that in one style of clothing, but I can wear a suit like a motherfucker.
Yeah, we
And
all saw that in that exposing video. You look
yeah,
fantastic with the spiked hair, the old '90s spiked hair.
oh yeah, man. And I was doing some stuff at that time, but
Right.
where I was in the neighborhood, you had to wear that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, but we do really wear a lot of faces in Chicago. We can turn on a dime our personalities.
hmm
Uh,
Sunshine's right. She said you had to be a chameleon growing up in Chicago. She's right.
oh boy,
She's
were
right.
we chameleons.
Because
You
if you
know,
were hooked up with any crew, and like I said, if you were selling drugs, if you were selling real drugs, not some street corner punk, but if you were selling real drugs, yeah, like I said, one day I'd be in a room full of politicians, the next day I'd be in a room full of criminals. It was day to day. You were around everybody, and being around everybody like that, you know, if you keep your ears open and your mouth shut, you start learning things too.
right. See, I was lucky where uh the guys that I were hanging around with would beat the crap, but they probably bury my ass if I was selling drugs. They got me more wise, more girl wise, into that type of business. Hell, I had an escort service until 10 years ago, but
Yeah, I remember that.
they kept us out of the drug part.
Mhm.
And the way they put it to me was, yeah, you're going to make a lot of money doing it, but when you take away the time you're going to be spending in the joint and the lawyer fees, you didn't end up with anything coming out of it.
Yeah,
So they would approach it from that angle. And if they seen you doing anything over weed, man, they really fuck you up. But that was the best part of my life, was on 19th and Lake Street, man, and Coco's. I got to learn every damn thing. And it made you feel good being around them type of people. I'd rather get praise from them than some politician or somebody who's a puppet master.
right. The Dottie, he said that's hilarious. Danny said politicians and criminal as if they're not the same. Yeah,
In
yeah, yeah,
Chicago, in Chicago, they're the same.
yeah.
Okay.
They're the same everywhere.
They're the same in Chicago, baby. And you know, it was just a different lifestyle. It was a different way of growing up. But I'm sure everybody out there, like Mike, LA has something that's different, and New York has something that's different, even though you guys
Oh,
talk funny on the East Coast. Uh, you bash us about our Chicago accents.
but
You
yeah, they
guys,
think we talk funny too, though.
yeah, they Chicago has its stigma. Yeah, it's Chirac for a reason, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
You
it's
know,
crazy now, man. I mean, I still go to Chicago, man, because I miss the food, man. Oh
oh my,
God, I miss the food. So I mean, I still go to Chicago, and I still go to Jimmy's Hot Dogs. Jimmy's over on Grand Pulaski. I go hit my Mexican joint up on North Avenue, Pulaski, Juan Tintan's. I hit my Puerto Rican restaurant up on Armitage and La Crosse. And there's a Cuban restaurant right there on Armitage and La Crosse too that I like to hit. Like,
uh,
man, I still hit all my spots, man. And I go through there, and I'll go through there all different times, man. In the evening, at night, mainly is when I'm riding through the city. And I mean, on a bike, when you're a biker, you don't really get messed with. Everybody leaves you alone.
mhm,
Because they don't know who you with, who you a part of. It's
right.
just kind of one of them things where they just stay away from you. But yeah, I mean, there's been times where I'm sitting there in the Jimmy's parking lot eating, and you hear pop, pop, pull up, pop, 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 pop. And you can always tell who ain't from the city in that parking lot, man, because they're all getting in their cars leaving. I'm standing there with a hot dog in my mouth, like, oh shit, somebody got. You know what I mean? It's like whatever.
Damn right on that one right there, man. You're damn right. We just sit there and enjoy a hot dog.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, whatever. Nothing to see here, man.
But what's funny with the dividing line of Chicago is the people that didn't grow up in Chicago are such oblivious. I'm talking like where Chinatown grew up, like Schaumburg and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
natural. That's why I can't believe she's still with me, because it was an unnatural relationship from the start. She's still
Yeah.
after 29 years don't know how to take me.
Yeah.
We don't have filter. It just pukes out of our mouth.
It does, man. It does. We don't care.
You got
And that
Jason.
goes back to what I was saying. No, my bad. Go ahead.
You got Chase in there, Danny. He's talking to you.
Yeah, talking about Danny. What are you talking about, Chase? What's up? Um,
By the
But
way,
yeah, that goes back to my relationship thing. You know, if you're gonna be with somebody and really be happy and be able to communicate, they gotta understand you. You know, my chick understands my mentality and knows how I am because she's from Chicago too. You know,
JB, you all have Spanish food. You're damn right we do. Do you have Little Italy? Yeah, we do on Taylor
so
Street
we got everything, man.
and Chinatown,
See,
man.
y'all on the East Coast need to leave the East Coast sometime and see what the world offers.
We got Greek Town, we got
Remember,
Russia.
remember when we had Sosa Ghost, and he's
Yeah,
like, I didn't know y'all had that. And it's like, dude, leave New York, you asshole. Like, what do you think you're the only one with a bodega?
lay off the pastrami sandwiches over there. Really, it'd be funny to get Soska out to Chicago, dude. That'd be funny shit right there. You know, hey, you want a bar? So sure, let's go down Clark Street, man. and
Oh my god.
I
Uh,
used to do that to all the out of towners. I go show them Wrigley. I said, yeah, man, just go south on Clark, man. I'll meet you up.
I'll meet you there in 15 minutes and break. Oh my god.
Yeah, but we
Chase
got.
over there. Chase still talking about my head because he ain't figured out nothing else to talk about. I'm sorry, baby.
But one thing that people don't realize about Chicago is it's one of the most segregated cities in the country. Like you
Yeah.
just know, you got Little Italy out there. You got a lot of Polish that stick together on the north side.
Yeah, over
And
on Belmont Avenue.
yep, and you got a lot of blacks on south and west side. And
Uh-huh.
it really is the most segregated city in the country.
And a lot of people don't understand, man, and I've told the story many times, is so Grand Avenue was the line in
Yeah, it
my
was the
neighborhood. That
yeah,
was the divider line. The blacks were on the south side of Grand Avenue, and then the Latina and Latino were on the north side of Grand Avenue. And
right.
it was crazy, man. Like even in the Puerto Rican neighborhoods, man, we wouldn't allow the blacks to come to the hood and make money and do that. We caught them in our neighborhood, dude. We beat them up and say, "Hey, man, take that bullshit on the other side of Grand Avenue." And same thing, we try to cross over on Grand Avenue, and the black folks were like, "Nah, bro, you don't allow us over there. Get your ass on the other side." Like it really was segregated, man.
Well, that you had Grand Avenue. You also had the Ike as you started going towards East Coast or the Gold Coast, as they call it. We had that dividing line up there. One thing, if you guys are ever in Chicago, you got to visit the Taste of Chicago. The Taste of
You
Chicago
know
is
what's funny?
phenomenal.
I lived in Chicago for 25 years of my life, and I've yet to be at the Taste of Chicago. Never gone.
Never gone to the Taste? You kidding me?
I've never gone, dude.
Oh,
Dude,
God.
it was one day me and my lady were looking at like in Chicago you got all these tour buses, right? And we're talking about going downtown and maybe taking a tour for shits and giggles. And I'm like, they ain't gonna give me a tour or anything I don't know already. And I started looking at all this stuff and I'm like, I don't know any of this. I'm like, well, how the fuck am I from Chicago and I don't know any of this stuff? Like, it's messed up, man. A lot of us in the hood, we never left the hood.
Well,
we,
that's true.
we didn't know what was going on outside the hood.
Mike, we're doing members only tomorrow. We're running a little longer here. You know what, Mike? I'm gonna send you the link to the show right now and you to come in here so me and Danny can bash on you a little bit.
No
It's always
sunshine. I've never been to Summerfest either. I mean, I go to the Harley anniversary thing in Milwaukee, but I usually just go to a dealer. I don't really go to the actual grounds over there. It's just not really my thing.
it's an Instagram, Mike, with the B-can stuff. Get your little ass in here, freaking peg leg. Let's see here. Pancho Pistolas. One of the only things I miss about Chicago. I never went to the Taste either. It was funny with China Doll. I actually brought her on the Lake Street L and she was clinging to me and shit like that because, you look off at the south side, dude. It's like a nuclear bomb went off over there. And on the north side, everything's cool and stuff. But you guys think you got subways in New York, man. You come to the L over here in Chicago.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Bears moving to Arlington Heights, man?
I'm gonna be honest with you. So there's a movie. It's a very famous movie that taught me so many great points in my life,
Yeah,
and
Chase, I'm
that
picking.
and that movie is called The Bronx Tale. There's a part in that movie where I believe the guy's name is Sonny. He's telling the kid, who's your favorite baseball player? And the kid, I believe he says Mickey Mantle. And Sonny goes, why do you like Mickey Mantle? And the kid tells him why or whatever. He loves his fans and all that. He goes, let me ask you something, kid. He goes, if your pa gets fired today and he's got no job and you guys are getting kicked out of your apartment, you think Mickey Mantle's going to pay the rent for you guys? And he goes, yeah, I think he would. He goes, I got news for you. He won't, because he don't even know you. So why would you give a fuck about anybody that don't give a fuck about you? So when
That's
it
the
comes to sports, since I was a kid, I don't know why, but that sat in my head. I'm 43 years old. When I watched that movie, it first came out. I don't know how old it is, but it's a long time ago.
You were a kid.
Dude, it sat in my head my whole life, and
No, it affected you.
I've never given a shit about sports one day of my life. I don't
and
give a fuck where the Bears go. They can go fuck themselves. They're making millions of dollars, and they ain't doing a fucking thing for anybody in Chicago. They can all suck my dick. Fuck them all.
Jason. Yes, we did not forget about Gene and Jude's, one of the best around. River Road and Grand Avenue right there, Gene and Jude's. We got Peg Leg joining the Madhouse right now. We're all going to be
Wow,
together.
look at this. We got Chase, who's like my new number one hater, this little fuck. The
Oh,
Bears are like
wow.
Danny D'Lo. They both suck and ain't going nowhere. Hey, how's your
Oh,
podcast going, asshole? Go fuck off.
Chase and Danny going
Fuck
at
out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
it. So what,
Oh,
Peg Leg,
shit.
man? We're gonna, what's up with you, man, in LA and stuff? You got a bunch of queers out there. You don't even have steers.
That's what the accusations are, man. I understand.
Mike, I don't even know why you
understand.
came on, bro. I really
I
don't.
no, I don't know why either. You know what I mean? I just
I'm not
at
picking
this
on you. I love
at,
you, brother.
at this point I've just given up. You know what I mean? I
I'm,
just
I'm
Mike's
not.
Mike.
I'm not
Mike's
trying
Mike.
to be a bully like Chase and Hollywood over here. I'm not gonna pick on you. I love you, brother.
We all love
so
Mikey, man. Mikey's
no,
one of
don't
the.
no, you guys don't give a shit. It's all good.
Oh, shut up. Don't play me that poor me card shit now.
Right now I can use the victim card, right?
Right. If you guys don't
It's
know
all
who
love, Chase.
if you guys don't know who Mike Ball is, Mike is a big creator over on Instagram, and he does a lot of life teaching over there. And go ahead, Mike, tell everybody a little bit about you, because we are now on motorcyclemadhouse.com. The radio station is
The
worldwide.
Madhouse, baby, where we keeping it 100.
I can't do
There
it
you
like
go,
him
man.
because
There you go.
I got
But
I got a few different octaves level higher than you, so it's kind of hard to do.
there
You
you
gotta, you
go.
gotta, you gotta have bass in your voice, bro.
Yeah, no, I don't got that. I'm
You
sorry.
know,
You know what I
you
mean?
know who he reminds me of, Danny, from Man Cow's show? Is
Oh,
Turd.
come on, man, come on, don't do our boy like that, man. Come on, man.
I don't know who it is, but I'm just gonna accept it for who it is. You know what I
Turd was
mean?
cool, man. But anyway, go ahead and introduce yourself, all that good stuff.
The thing I talk about, man, is just positive mental attitude, and strength is 90% mental and 10% physical at the end of the day. I'm a walking, literally a walking reason of why you can still be alive. You know what I mean? And you can still prosper and live a meaningful, fulfilling life after something so traumatic that happens in your life. So I just documented my little way of recovering, and people saw that on social media and instantly started. I received a lot of direct messages from other people and from amazing people all around the world. Insane amount of support, and it was amazing. Honestly, it changed my life. You know what I mean? So now I just teach a lot about positive mental attitude. You know, not letting and affecting, you know, people that, for instance, like, I'm going to say this: never allow anyone take anything personal from anyone that you're not personal with. Like, why do we care about what other people have to say about, like, that's irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're irrelevant people. So I just talk about stuff like that on my platforms.
By the way, RY, his son is graduating high school today. So happy for you and your family.
That's
RY,
dope. That's
way
dope.
to go right there. That's good stuff right there.
Congratulations.
I made it by with D minuses, man. I still walked. You know what I mean? Hell yeah.
Did you ever think that you were going to be in a yearbook, the guy that most likely is going to lose a leg?
No. You know what? I'm gonna be honest, bro.
No, it said, hey, Mike Ball, good luck in life. Break a leg. Who knew?
Who knew? Go break a leg.
See, I can't be with Hollywood, dude. I just got to be picking on my boy, man. See?
It's all right. It's all right. I take it. I take it with stride. It is what it is.
Hollywood, you're a piece of shit for that. Oh, my God.
The thing that worries me is Mike says he takes it, but you know,
Yeah.
I hope there ain't
No. Listen. Hollywood
I hope
has
there's no
this
strap-ons involved.
No. He's got this sick, demented mind. You know what I mean?
He does. He does. You have no idea, brother.
And you know where that also, like, why that happens to people's brains? It's when people have tiny. No, it's when they have tiny nuts. It's when they have tiny nuts. That's what happens.
Oh, shit. He's saying you ain't got no balls, Hollywood. Ooh. Ooh. He was talking about your mama in the green room, too.
I'd rather have tiny balls and a big dick than, you know, it happens.
It happens, I guess. You know,
Danny or Chase, what do we got going on with Chase, my man down in San Antonio? He's down in Texas. They won't bring me up because I'll have Hollywood and Danny in their feelings.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Oh my goodness gracious!
That's cute. Danny, you think of yourself that highly, though.
Danny, I like how you're like it. You're like.
Well, Chase is going to be coming online with his podcast pretty soon. Hopefully, Mike's supposed to be helping him out with that, so hopefully it helps. Mike, he's
ain't that about a bitch? Chase needs help. I thought you're the man, bro. You got this. Do it.
Mike got frozen up and stuff like that.
Yeah, he did.
My internet just took a shit.
Yeah, it looks like it. But these guys are on the Beat Can podcast where it gets into some serious issues, some funny issues. And it's been one of the most enjoyable podcasts I've been on because we get to learn about each other. We get to become closer. And that's one thing that podcasts really do is bring everybody closer.
Definitely.
Especially with human interest topics, you know what I mean? When we talk about human interest, I mean, we're going to be diving into so many different topics that most creators probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Would make
that's what I love about it.
Too vulnerable. You know
yeah, that's what I love about it because we talk about stuff that we normally wouldn't, you know, and that's the way a podcast is supposed to be. You know, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're all bikers. We've all been in 1% clubs, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? But we're all men. We're all people. And China is a woman. So, you know, we've all grown to be a part of something. So it's going very well. I'm loving it too, man.
What's that say about, because I do get complaints on my channel when I don't cover biker related crap, but bikers are human. Bikers are regular people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mike, and then we to go to Danny.
Even Chase is a human.
Yeah, even down to Chase, you know. No. Yeah, no, mean, I'm another walking example of that. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm another human. I'm just another dude. I happen to be a part of the club life, you know, and I was blessed and honored to be a part of that and to still be able to speak on it to some degree. And because I've had the immense amount of guidance from the graybeards, to be honest, I didn't
Mhm.
veer towards the guys my age. Like
Mm.
Right.
all the prospects that were all hanging around over here and wanting to play around with, you know, the bullshit. I'm over here like trying to really gain some knowledge.
Well,
But
that's one thing.
nonetheless,
That's one thing, Mike.
nonetheless,
What you to go ahead in a sec, Mike. But Danny, how we came up with the beat can? What's it actually mean?
Bikers exploring anything they can. And that's what it's about. Yeah, like I said, we're all bikers. We've all been in the club world. We're all former one percenters or still whatever, but we're all human. And, we don't just want to talk about biker shit. There's more in life than talking about the protocols of the MC world and, today
it
in
gets
biker
old.
news, who gives a shit? Like, you know what I mean? We want to talk about stuff that we experience every day as humans, as people, you know?
Well, that we did an episode on a lot of people probably don't know, and by the way, it's on Spotify and the podcast platforms. We've
Yep.
talked depression, we've talked anxiety. Hell, we even had fun last week about an apocalypse, what we would do. So it's a
Yeah.
lot different than what you're gonna see, say on a creator's channel that does protocol, or it's like they got to get their stick out of their ass. You have to have some fun, and you
Yeah.
got to.
You got to let loose a little bit. You know, we're
Yeah.
like you said, we're all humans here, and as content creators, we don't want to box ourselves into one
Yes.
thing. You know
Definitely.
what I mean? We want to be able to expand and be able to talk about these bigger subjects for sure.
Well,
Hmm.
that's the thing. That's the thing, Mike. Expansion of
Mhm.
somebody's mind. I think
Yep.
we all box ourselves in, and we really shouldn't.
No, it's
No, no, we
I
should.
think we
It's
do
it's
it
hard not to though. It happens on accident because we all
right.
started
It
talking
happens
about the
on
biker
accident.
stuff. Yeah, we started talking about the biker stuff because that's what we're comfortable talking about because that's our comfort zone. That's what we know. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it sucks because we all catch ourselves gravitating back towards that even in conversations, but you got to break out, man, because there's more to life. I mean, now I'm going to do relationship advice, so we're going to break out all over.
Well,
No,
that that,
I
you know,
think it's dope.
you might think it's funny, but I think it'd be a good niche for Danny to get
Honestly, I
into
do
that kind
too.
of thing.
Like
Because a
I'm
lot
not
of
joking.
guys are afraid to talk about their feminine side and stuff. So that might make relationships a lot better. Is a man learning to open themselves up where we wouldn't before.
A
Right.
woman can teach that to a man. A man has to teach that to a man. Isn't that kind of
Mhm.
Well,
interesting?
unfortunately, most guys can't be taught that because they're too busy feeding into their own male ego.
Yes, there can be too much
You know,
ego within that.
their
Sure.
testosterone and all that crap. So it is what it is. But hey, I might do one just to see where it goes. Just to do one.
Yeah,
Oh, you
exactly.
should.
That's the whole thing. Never box yourself in. As a creator, we never should.
And the
Uh-huh.
beat cast is on every Sunday at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Central.
And you just see it on Danny's channel, the Beat Can channel, the Motorcycle Madhouse channel. You to listen to it on air. We do have fun.
Rumble,
Yeah,
Spotify,
Spotify.
you name it. It's out
We
we're
there.
everywhere, baby.
and we do feel sorry for China because she's the only broad on the damn chat.
Sometimes I do.
I feel bad too because she's got to represent something so much bigger than just herself. It's representing women as kind of a whole sometimes, and
Yep.
not just how how she feels, but she's got to think outside of her feelings, and that
Mhm.
can be hard to do for anybody, let alone anybody that's a woman, because it's hard for them to control their emotions sometimes.
Can
Amish,
somebody in the chat, by any chance, drop a link for my channel? Because I can't. Well, I might be able to. Let me see.
Amish, it's Danny D'Lo. Just put that
Yeah,
in.
definitely
Yeah.
go subscribe over to Danny's. He's got amazing content over there as well.
Right.
Yeah,
He
if you just search in, the minute you type in Danny D, most likely Danny D'Lo is going to pop up, or just type in Danny D'Lo Biker TV, and I'll pop right up, Amish.
And you'll see him not only doing like that, like how we were talking about the protocol stuff, but you'll see him breaking down like actual motorcycles and stuff. Like he does all sorts of content, so it's really cool.
you
Yeah, I
know,
try to keep it fresh.
that's one thing that we can talk about is if protocol is outdated, that's
Right.
gonna freaking burn some balls right there. I'm that black dragon all over my ass, man. What you telling these people that for? What?
Hey, that's something that we even discussed a little bit lightly yesterday, and it's true. It is kind of dated. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? At this point, I think these people have changed
you're gonna get all kinds of haters. Like,
I don't think it's outdated. I think
for the
it's
new
just the type
generation
of
of people
people that
coming
we
up.
have. It's the type of people that we have getting involved in the club world that the old guys, the old graybeards, failed them. They failed to teach these kids the history behind this world that they're trying to get involved in. That's what I think.
what's that tell us as a society where the older ones ain't teaching the younger ones that don't even have to be about biker
I,
stuff?
I think there was too many young ones that knew it all already and didn't go to those graybeards and spend the actual time and actually dedicate some time to go sit down with them.
They
That's what
shouldn't they shouldn't
lost.
seek that though. They should
Your
be pushed into
sponsor,
that.
your sponsor when you're a prospect, that's the where you're supposed to get all that questions and answering. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So we should be doing a better job of prospecting people coming into these
Oh yeah.
clubs, in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah. Definitely.
Well,
There's
I'm,
no doubt about that. First of
well, we
all, let's start prospecting people again.
Hmm.
well,
Hmm.
we all know about the biker scene, but I'm talking about life in general, where they just got a different attitude than say when we grew up, where we
Yeah.
went
Right.
to elders, we desired that knowledge. And now
Yeah.
it's a big fu to the older generation from these younger ones. Mike,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, I personally think if you're not learning, then you're dying. So that's me though. I'm an exception to the rule, but I understand that the exception of the rule doesn't make the rule. Okay, so I know my generation has definitely had a big ego. They've come in and I've personally watched it to quite a few of the top majors where the younger generation came in and divided the entire club.
well, you know what?
Their
I actually
mentality.
blame that on Danny and me. We're Generation X, and we should have kicked your ass more, is what we should have
I
done.
agree. I agree.
But we're coming up in an hour and a half. We're gonna have Danny and Mikey back on tomorrow's show. Hopefully you enjoyed this extended edition of Motorcycle Madhouse. It was fun, and you got to meet some new creators and stuff like that. Again, China Dow will be back on Monday, but we got Danny and Mike filling in right now, and you guys were great, man. So tomorrow there will be a members only tomorrow, but we just ran overload with this one because I'm watching the radio station stuff, and it's going really good
It
on
was a
that.
great topic. It was a great topic,
Nice.
and I think I loved actually listening and hearing your guys' experience in Chicago because I'm an outsider. You know what I mean? And I
Uh-huh.
like to be able to learn about your guys. I mean, anytime you dive into someone else's culture, oftentimes that's when you learn the most.
And Chicago does have its unique culture. It really does. A lot of people don't,
sure.
you know, just like New York and LA. We just don't put up with Tinkerbells like LA does. But
I'm gonna tell you, the guys from the hood do not deal with the Tinkerbells. All right, I'm telling you.
I don't know, man. Some of them brothers in the hood are kind of Tinkerbell themselves, dog. I don't know, bro.
they are, man.
Chicago.
We'll all see you tomorrow and stuff. We'll have Danny
True.
around. We'll have Mikey around and all that good stuff. So we'll talk to you guys later. Join the Insane Throttle Members Only Club on YouTube or Spotify and receive exclusive content Monday through Friday at 9:20 a.m. Central Standard Time. Your membership in the Throttle Club helps keep the show going strong. Introducing the all-new service from Insane Throttle, Motorcycle Madhouse Radio. 24/7 and nothing but the best in 80s till today rock and metal, baby. And here's an added bonus. You can now listen to Motorcycle Madhouse Morning Show with Hollywood and Chinatown live on the air. Go to motorcyclemadhouse.com and bookmark the radio station and get down with the king of biker radio.
I say goodbye, vamoose, adios, ciao, so long, get your hat jack.
#1 internet biker radio show is now available on Spotify and all major platforms, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, and more. Don't forget to become a subscriber on any one of these platforms so you can be notified right away when our weekly episode is up.